Good afternoon. I'm Mike McGovern, professor of history at Northampton Community College, and I'm talking here in Bethlehem this afternoon with a distinguished eyewitness to history, Mr. George Whitehouse, former faculty member here at Northampton and a veteran of the Second World War. Tell us a little bit about how you came to join the military and in what capacity.
I was employed back in 1942 at that time with the Bethlehem Steel Corporation in the metallurgical department. As such, I had deferments coming up because of my position, but I decided that I wanted to go in to the Army Air Corps. So I enlisted, went up to Fort Niagara, and was assigned to the Rome Air Depot, which was just opening back in November of 1942. I was provided with the brand new B-26 bomber that was going to be used again for training. I was a flight engineer. We used the planes to tow targets. Very risky. We'd go up over Atlantic City, 10,000 feet, and have the target thrown out, and they'd come zooming in at it, the target. And that's where we'd go 2 flights a day, maybe 4 hours in the morning, another 4 hours in the afternoon for the fighters to be shooting at us. I was asked to stay on. They offered me a promotion to up to tech sergeant if I'd stay, but I wanted to get home because my wife-to-be was waiting, and I was 26 years old, wanted to get out and fight the civilian life. I had my job waiting for me, and I went back to the steel without any problems. Everything was fine. I got married and then took my bride from Scranton up to Lackawanna, and she wasn't too happy, and she said, "You always wanted to go to college, so let's go," even though we were going to be expecting our first son. So off we went to college. Steel gave me a 4-year leave of absence to go. I graduated from Syracuse. I was a beneficiary of the GI Bill of Rights, and it was a great thing. The number of veterans there, it was wonderful. I was going to go back to Steel, and the wife did not particularly care to go there. My senior year, my last semester, there happened to be an ad in the paper where they were looking for people to join the IRS, take a civil service exam. And I did take the civil service exam. I was called within 2 weeks to Philadelphia. They wanted to know if I want a job. And when they asked me to move to Bethlehem to do the audit for IRS at the Bethlehem Steel Corporation, I have worked out of there right up till I retired, plus a lot of overseas assignments. I've been in many countries doing the work that I was doing with the IRS, except assisting foreign governments in their tax problems. I was very interested in seeing the community colleges get started because I felt that the need was there, and I was always in favor of the community college. So there came contact about a tax course, and we decided that that would be a good thing. And it was a 2-semester course. Individuals and partnership was the first semester, and the second semester was corporate. We had a corporate tax during that time. Again, that was during the Vietnam conflict. Mm-hmm. There was a complete difference between the two types of students. They did not even want to remark about being in the service. The feeling against them was terrible, and I witnessed it myself. Mm-hmm. We had a tax team in Vietnam pretty much during the war. They wanted some help in the area that I was involved in. They wanted assistance to put in that type of system in the South Vietnamese government. So that's when I was called to go over there for a 3-month assignment in Saigon. That's when it started to fall apart. The group from the Vietnam Memorial was called Healing and Renew. They got a group together of retired veterans. Having had the experience with 2 of my own boys, both were in the Vietnam conflict, the 3 of us decided we'd go with the group. And that's how we got to go over. We had a wonderful time at visiting sites. It was healing. Now, Renew, when we left there was 360,000 tons of unexploded armament left there in the grounds. And that's one of the things we were sponsoring. We bought them a machine that's like a Jeep that has like a metal detector across the front of it, running to try to detect them when they're buried in the ground, and then they'll take them out of the ground and explode them. We were paying for radio, television, and information in schools to help them understand what you're to do and giving them telephone numbers who to call, because we trained about 40 people to do this detonation and all that. So that's one of the things. And with a school that we dedicated, that we provided the money for the students.
Your presence is still a major part of our educational program here, and we thank you for that. And Mr. George Whitehouse, I want to thank you very much for taking the time to visit with us this afternoon.
Right. Thank you for having me. Hang in there. You can't get a better education than what you're getting here at Northampton.